Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of In the Kitchen with Courtney. I'm your host, Courtney. Tonight we will be making skillet lasagna. It's a quick one pot meal, probably take less than 30 minutes, and it's going to be a crowd pleaser. So we're going to go over the ingredients right quick. Nothing too extravagant. We got 1 pound of ground beef. Once again, customize these meals to fit you and your taste and you and your budget. If you're on the healthier side, you can substitute with ground turkey or ground chicken. You can also use Italian sausage. I usually use Italian sausage when I'm making my pasta dishes like spaghetti or lasagna, but my niece loves ground beef, and this is going to be for her. So we have 1 pound of ground beef. We have a cup and a half of shredded cheese. This is the Italian blend, provolone, mozzarella, parmesan, and something else. We have a cup of ricotta cheese. We're going to sprinkle over, once everything is finished, some parmesan cheese. We have our uncooked lasagna noodles, our seasonings, and of course our tomato sauce. So first we're going to get started with browning the ground beef. And my skillet is a little hot, so you should hear that sizzle. Go ahead and break this down. So while we are breaking this down, we're gonna go ahead and start seasoning our ground beef. A little Creole. We're just gonna add a couple of shakes of Old Bay. We have some onion powder. Just a little, or a little more. And of course, garlic powder. So we're gonna season our ground beef and go ahead and start to get it brown. And then we're also gonna season the sauce once we add the sauce. And once again, I didn't put exact measurements. You really just have to add a little and then taste and see if you need to add more. So always start off with a little. If you're a measuring type person, always start off with a teaspoon and just add more teaspoons until you get to the taste you're looking for. I figure if you add a little, you can gradually build up the flavor versus adding too much because you can't take the season out. So, but I will let you guys in on a little secret. If you over salt your spaghetti, like your pasta, before you add the noodles, you can add potatoes in there, chopped, rusted, ripe potatoes to soak up that sodium. And if you're cooking any other dish and you over salt it by mistake, add a little sugar to balance it out. So this will yield 4 servings. But if you have a bigger family, go ahead and get that big long roll of ground beef and use a whole box of noodles. We're not going to use this whole box. Let's make sure it's getting brown. And guys, we're not draining this. We're going to keep all that beef fat, that good flavor in this skillet because it's going to add to the sauce. So this is cooking. It's getting brown. Once it get a little browner, we're going to add our garlic. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons. If you have the garlic cloves, you can go ahead and chop off 3 of those and like mince them up. But it's always quicker and easy just to buy the pre-mixed garlic. And guys, like I said, you can substitute the meat for other meat products, or you can substitute meat for vegetables. So it can be any type of lasagna you want. It could be a meatless lasagna, depending on how your budget is. So keep that in mind. Okay, that is going to continue to brown. Let's go ahead and add our garlic. And for the tomato sauce, I'm using the jar kind. You don't have to be so fancy. You can get the canned Hunts, whatever's within your budget. I just like the pre-made jar kind because it already has some herbs and seasoning to add to it, and I don't have to do much to get to where I personally prefer it to be. Now I'm just adding garlic because my niece does not like onions. But if you are a fan of onions, half a yellow onion chopped very small, like mince, will be a great addition to this lasagna in the skillet. So most of the items I had in my cabinet or in my refrigerator already, but if you're buying everything minus the seasoning, the pack of ground beef, 1 pound, ran about $4 at Walmart. Walmart also has a brand of lasagna noodles that runs about 116, and this is 178, and the jar of Prego is 178. So you're still looking at less than $10. Oh, including the cheese, you're still looking at less than $10 for the whole meal. So we are trying to bring really budget friendly, really low prep, simple, quick meals for you busy working young adults who have families, and we're trying to be creative. We want something different. We want something fun. So if you are one of those parents that you throw spaghetti on once a week because it's a good hearty meal, the kids will eat it and stick to them and taste even better the next day, substitute spaghetti night for lasagna night. Takes about the same time, maybe less, and you're only using one skillet. So, like I said, we're not draining this. We're gonna keep all this seasoning, all this fatty goodness. And I'm gonna go ahead and just add a little more Creole seasoning. Don't be too heavy-handed if you're not the type of person who can eyeball it. So I do recommend using measuring utensils just to start off, and as you gradually progress, then you can start cooking like grandma. So what if I tell you guys we're like halfway finished with the lasagna dish? It really is just grounding of the beef. So we have that. We're gonna go ahead and add this whole jar of Prego tomato sauce. It does not have to be Prego. It can be Ragu or it can be any other tomato brand you like. Turn my eye up a little bit more. Let's go ahead and mix that in together. And we're gonna add half a cup of water to start with because we still want our noodles to kind of get cooked while they're in this sauce. So when I say low prep, low maintenance, this is the meal for you. Okay, so that is cooking. Let me get a spoon. Let's taste the salt to see that we need to doctor it up because I don't want to be adding salt, seasoning when I start to add the cheese. Oh, turn that down. So. It's good, and it's a little on the sweet side. Let's go ahead and add some more garlic powder just to tone it down some. And let's go ahead and go with this Old Bay. Black pepper is also a great addition. I just didn't have any. And I forgot to buy some. So, continue to stir. And let's do this. Talk about me if you want to, but we're going to get every little ounce out of this jar. So I'm adding my cup of water to the jar of spaghetti. So if you use the canned tomato sauce, you won't be able to add water to it and shake it up while making a mess. So, see that? More sauce. Y'all better learn how to stretch that dollar by stretching that sauce. So we're gonna set that aside. And we got this going. Turn my eye up some more. So, and guys, I'm not adding a lot of vegetables, but because my niece doesn't like vegetables in her spaghetti like that. But you can add half a chopped yellow onion, bell peppers, and a can of diced tomatoes just to really hearty it up. So if your kids like vegetables or you're a big fan of vegetables, add those vegetables in. This will be the time you add them in. So while that is simmering, because I have it on mid heat, we're going to go ahead and taste it one more time because it is kind of sweet, but I'm still going to add some sugar to it. It's a method to my madness. So and this is why you have to continuously taste it. Let's just add a little sugar. So I'm starting off with a teaspoon, and this is 2.5 teaspoons in this little cup. So just a little. And there we go. And now we're going to add our cottage cheese. Now, if you do not like ricotta cheese, don't add it. And I'm just going to spoon that in there. And that's a cup of ricotta cheese. Oh. Turn that down. So now it's kind of popping and it's burning me. So just add little scoops all over. Be careful because your sauce is still cooking and it's bubbling and the poppy is hot. I just got burnt. So you be careful. And I don't want to completely stir this up, but I do want to get this mixed around some. And you know what else you can do with this dish? Instead of doing a lasagna in a skillet, you can get a pot and you can make a lasagna soup. It will call for more equal amount of equal ratio of water to tomato sauce, but it's the same ingredients and the same concept. Ooh. Okay, let's go ahead and get our noodles in there. You know what? Let's go ahead and do this first. So add a little cheese. And then we're gonna get our noodles in here. And then we're gonna top it with the rest of the cheese. And then we're gonna finish off with the Parmesan. And we are just about finished with this meal. So if you feel like you need something extra to really hold people over, this could be a side dish to go with a main dish, or you can throw in some garlic bread and a salad and you got a full Olive Garden meal. So we have about 4 noodles. We need to go ahead and break them in half so they can fit in here. They don't have to be perfect. They can just be in pieces. It's kind of like the same concept. They're going to finish cooking inside the pot. So that was 4, and I'm going to go ahead and add 5 more. So we're not going to use the whole box. I don't know. We could probably get away with a couple more. Because remember, when the noodles cook, they're going to expand. So let's go ahead and just put those in there. Add the rest of the water. And turn it up. So we're going to leave this on medium high for the next 15 minutes until the noodles get soft. And then we're going to top it midway through with the rest of the cheese. And before we plate it, we're going to add the fresh grated Parmesan cheese. So you can use the shredded cheese that I got out of the specialty section, or you can use the Parmesan cheese that's in the bag, like the Great Value kind, or you can use the one that you get on the aisle. The one I think you guys are more familiar with, similar to Olive Garden, the I guess the powdered kind. So it's all up to you what you prefer and what's in your bank account. And so we're gonna come back periodically. So this is gonna cook for 15 minutes, but we're gonna come back and we're gonna stir just to make sure all the noodles are getting cooked, basically. Like right now. Get that in there. Cook, cook, cook. So this is why I said go ahead and taste your sauce, because once you add your noodles, it's gonna be kind of hard to like season your sauce. So you can season the whole dish afterwards if it's still missing something. But right now, we're just letting our noodles cook. Okay. So like I said, this is a low prep meal. There was nothing really to cut or chop up. Everything was prepackaged. We threw it into the skillet, and we're gonna let the skillet do all the work. So if you are a busy working parent, or if you are a busy student and you just have some other stuff to do, this is something that you can go ahead and prepare and walk away from. Not too far. Don't leave your house, but you can go do other stuff. You don't have to stand here and watch it. So go ahead and let that go ahead and cook on down. And then we're gonna add cheese midway through, and the Parmesan is later just for extra toppings. My niece really loves cheese, so that's why I have 3 types inside of this dish. Once again, if you are vegan or have some dietary restrictions, you don't have to use cheese. There's vegan cheese, or you can just not use cheese. And the dish could still be considered a lasagna, just a different type of lasagna. So no worries there. And I think it's better if you use a skillet or a pot that has a lid, because you want that steam to come back to stay and cook the dish. So that's why we put lids on our stews and stuff we're boiling, because we're trying to compress that heat and have that steam act as a second agent of cooking. It's boiling. So we're gonna take a quick break, and when you guys come back, we're gonna check on this dish, see that we need to stir it, and it should be finished real soon.
Hi, beauties and babes. It's Lonnie Noel.
Beauty Tutorials Unveiled.
We'll be talking about how to master the soft glam.
For the looks that are easier said than done. Watch live, and you could be invited on the show to get live feedback on where you go wrong.
If you're anything like me, it is a struggle.
Don't miss Beauty Tutorials Unveiled. Watch live on YouTube. Wednesdays, 9/8 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
What got me is like there and was like, "It's a rat in here. It's you." The acting, but you know what? I know people like that in real life.
What's the word with K Hicks?
We've got trivia, special guests, and whiskey.
Pour a glass of whatever you're drinking and buckle up.
What's the word?
What's the word with K Hicks? Watch live on YouTube. Wednesdays, 9:30, 8:30 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
It's a strong indication that your partner has issues with commitment, period.
When you've got questions, she's got the answers.
We do have a caller.
But what she says might not be what you want to hear.
The solution to that is Gullah Jack. Gullah Jack tells you plain and simply to just nut the up.
Courtney Unfiltered. Watch live on YouTube, and you could be invited on the show. Wednesdays at 10/9 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
Hi. Can I get the now bar, please?
No problem. $1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hi, can I get a now bar, please?
$1.
Thanks.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Hey, let me get a now bar.
Sure. $1.
Appreciate you.
You got it.
How's it going?
Can I get a now bar?
Hey, stop right there! Get down on the ground out of your flat rank, get down! Hold over your head! Now!
Lyrical Pursuit. Teams will compete, but there can be only one winner. And the game that tests music lovers on how well they know the exact lyrics to some of the most popular songs. Watch live and you can be invited to play around live on Channel 7. Lyrical Pursuit. Mondays at 9/8 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
Hey, I'm DC Paul, and this is Can You Sing?
We know you think you can sing, but can you sing?
How long have you been thinking you can sing?
Get voted in to compete for prize money. Can you sing? Watch live on YouTube. Mondays, 9:30, 8:30 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
America, land of the free. It's at the core of who we are. Freedom. The freedom to live without fear, to drive through all 50 states, to sleep safely in our own beds, the freedom to jog where we please, to watch birds in the park, to wear a hoodie, the freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because no matter your religion, gender, disability, age, race, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's gotta come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
Okay, guys, so our lasagna has been cooking. Let's check on these noodles and see how soft they have gotten. Because once your noodles are soft, your meal is ready. We just had to add our cheese for the finishing touches, and it's still a little... Yeah, they can go a little longer. So as this continues to cook, you see, this is what we're looking for. That's that ricotta cheese. That brings in that extra layer of flavor. And then we have that shredded cheese we added before we add the noodles into the sauce. And then once everything's finished, we're going to top with our cheeses. Different cheeses. So let's go ahead and get these noodles submerged so they can go ahead and finish cooking. So I guess you could have pre-cooked the noodles and then add it later, but that just seemed like extra work and an extra dish to clean. We're gonna make this a true 1 skillet meal, and we're just gonna let it cook. So this is you coming home from a busy day of work, and if your kids are anything like my brother, the first thing he says when I walk through the door is not, "Hey sister, how was your day?" or "Hey sister, I did my homework and took out the trash." It's, "What we eating tonight?" Here you go. If you didn't take out any ground beef, stop by Walmart, pick up your ground beef, your tomato sauce, your noodles, and a bag of cheese. Bada bing, bada boom. You got your meal. So this is going to continue to cook until we get those noodles to a softer texture. But other than that, it's finished. Once again, you can customize this meal with any type of protein you like. You can omit the meat and make it meatless with just vegetables. Or you can just add more vegetables with your meat. Really spread this dish out. If you're feeding more than 4 people, probably add another pack of ground beef and use more noodles. A little extra water can go a long way. I'm thinking about 3 or 4 more servings. So we're just gonna wait. And before I take this lid off, we're gonna let it continue to cook. So technically you're cooking the noodles like you would have in boiling water, but you're cooking it in the sauce. It just makes it easier to clean up. This is what we're looking for. Yep, those noodles are getting soft. Move them around. And like I kept them for the most part into like shorter noodles, but you can also break them down even smaller. We just don't want them to get to a point where they're not considered lasagna noodles. They're more like a different type of pasta because we're still going for that whole lasagna in a skillet aesthetic. See? And the fact that we kept that greasy, fat, juicy seasoning from that beef, you got that little grease streak right there. And that's your flavor, guys. That's your flavor. That's the money shot. So let's go ahead and move this around. This reminds me of a really elevated hamburger helper. Or a hamburger helper from scratch. But trust me, it tastes nothing like the box. Especially if you're seasoning it to your liking. So these noodles are getting soft. I can tell just by pressing down on them. They're not still, that part right before it gets to being perfect, like al dente, like it's still kind of uncooked. So it's getting there. And I did add a little more water during the break because I wanted to make sure that the noodles got cooked without drying out the sauce. And so that's good. We're going to go ahead and finish with our cheese. And if you're using a skillet, I think this skillet can go in the oven, but I don't want to chance it. But if you're using like a cast iron skillet or a full metal skillet without the rubber ends, put it in the oven, put it on broil for about 15 to 20 minutes, just so the cheese on top can melt. Another way we can do that, we're going to go ahead and let that steam melt the cheese on top. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and add some of the Parmesan. We're not going to use all of this. I want some of this Parmesan to melt. And then you can, if you're a cheese lover like my niece, after you finish and you're serving, add more cheese. Like when you go to Olive Garden and they're doing the cheese for you and they say, tell us when. And you just sitting there looking at them. They're like, tell us when. Yeah, that's my niece. So let's give it like 5 more minutes and then we'll be ready to plate up and eat. And I think we are at less than 30 minutes, even with the break, for this meal. Guys, add this to your rotation because I know we all cook the same thing every week. I know I do. Add it to your rotation. Take out spaghetti, add this. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to be ready to see our finished lasagna.
Hi, beauties and babes. It's Lonnie Noel.
Beauty Tutorials Unveiled.
We'll be talking about how to master the soft glam.
For the looks that are easier said than done. Watch live and you could be invited on the show to get live feedback on where you go wrong.
If you're anything like me, it is a struggle.
Don't miss Beauty Tutorials Unveiled. Watch live on YouTube. Wednesdays, 9/8 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
What got me is like there and was like, it's a rat in here. It's you. The acting. But you know what? I know people like that in real life.
What's the word with Kay Hickson?
We've got trivia, special guests, and whiskey.
Pour a glass of whatever you're drinking and buckle up.
What's the word?
What's the word with Kay Hickson? Watch live on YouTube. Wednesdays, 9:30, 8:30 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
It's a strong indication that your partner has issues with commitment, period.
When you've got questions, she's got the answers.
We do have a caller.
But what she says might not be what you want to hear.
The solution to that is Gullah Jack. Gullah Jack tells you plain and simply to just nut the up.
Courtney Unfiltered. Watch live on YouTube and you could be invited on the show. Wednesdays at 10/9 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
Hi. Can I get the now bar, please?
No problem. $1.
Have a good one.
Got it. Hi, can I get a now bar, please? $1.
Thanks. Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Hey, let me get a now bar.
Sure. $1.
Appreciate you.
You got it.
How's it going?
Can I get a now bar?
Hey, stop right there! Get down on the ground out of your flat rank, you dick! Show me your head! Now!
Lyrical Pursuit. Teams will compete, but there can be only one winner. In the game that tests music lovers on how well they know the exact lyrics to some of the most popular songs. Watch live and you can be invited to play around live on Channel 7. Lyrical Pursuit. Mondays at 9/8 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
Hey, I'm BC Paul, and this is Can You Sing?
We know you think you can sing, but can you sing?
How long have you been thinking you can sing?
Get voted in to compete for prize money. Can you sing? Watch live on YouTube. Mondays, 9:30, 8:30 Central on Channel 7. Believe the hype.
America, land of the free. It's at the core of who we are. Freedom. The freedom to live without fear, to drive through all 50 states, to sleep safely in our own beds, the freedom to jog where we please, to watch birds in the park, to wear a hoodie, the freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because no matter your religion, gender, disability, age, race, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him, he's gotta come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
Okay, did someone say dinner's ready? Because dinner is ready. This is the finished product. We came home, the kids were crying and need help with their homework. We know we had to wash a load of laundry. We got this ground beef ground and seasoned, built up our sauce, added some noodles, added some cheese. We walked away to help the kids with the homework. Came back, dinner is ready. Looks good, guys. So remember, start off with a little seasoning, 1 teaspoon. If you have not mastered the art of, the feel, add a little. You can always add more, but you can never go back and take out seasoning, especially in sauces and on meat. If you do add too much salt or too much seasoning salt, and you're making a tomato sauce for your pasta, before you add your noodles and your other vegetables and meat, go ahead and add 2 or maybe 1 chopped rusted potato to help soak up some of that sodium, or add some sugar to cut the salt. The cheese is optional. I'll just use the 3 types of cheese because my niece loves cheese. But honestly, you can get away with that great value $1.24 bag of shredded cheese. Get the Italian version that has all the 3 or 4 different types of cheese. And there you go. Make sure you tune in next week for another episode of Creative Budget Friendly Meals. Have a great night.